Hello! It's time for the kids' talk.
Well, we've had a break from the story of Joseph for a couple of weeks, but this morning we're continuing with the story. If you remember, there was a cupbearer who had a dream that God helped Joseph to interpret, and Joseph asked the cupbearer to remember Joseph when he was let out of prison, and instead of talking to Pharaoh about Joseph, the cupbearer completely forgot about him. 2 years passed, and now it was Pharaoh who had some worrying dreams, and this is what he dreamt. He was standing by the Nile River when 7 fat cows came up out of the water and began to feed on the grass. Then 7 very thin and bony cows came out of the river Nile and stood by the other cows on the riverbank. Now, in Pharaoh's dream, the thin cows ate up the fat cows. What a crazy dream! Pharaoh then woke up and then went back to sleep again, and he had another dream. This time, he saw 7 heads of grain, big and ripe, growing on one stalk. The 7 other heads of grain then sprouted, and they were thin and scorched by the desert wind. These thin heads of grain swallowed the big, healthy one. Wow, this was another crazy dream. And Pharaoh was really disturbed by these dreams. They really freaked him out. And the next morning he sent for all the magicians and wise men of Egypt. Surely these men would be able to tell him what his dreams meant. But you know what? None of these people could tell Pharaoh what his dreams meant. And Pharaoh was now more worried than ever. But then Pharaoh's cupbearer, remember the guy who had forgotten about Joseph? Well, suddenly he remembered how Joseph had told him the meaning of his dream when he was in prison. The cupbearer said to Pharaoh, "When I was in prison, a young Hebrew interpreted my dream, and things turned out just the way he said." So straight away, Pharaoh brought Joseph out of prison. Pharaoh said to Joseph, "I have had dreams that no one can explain. I have been told that you can interpret dreams." Joseph says, "I can't interpret dreams, but God can." And so Pharaoh told Joseph his dreams, and God helped Joseph to know what the dreams meant. Joseph said to Pharaoh, "Both of your dreams mean the same thing. The 7 fat cows are 7 years, and the 7 full heads of grain are also 7 years. This means that there will be 7 years of great plenty in all of Egypt. The 7 thin cows and the 7 thin heads of grain are 7 bad years that follow the 7 good years. These will be 7 years of terrible famine. No food will grow in the country." Pharaoh was so impressed that Joseph was able to tell him what the dreams meant that he put him in charge of everything in Egypt. And it was Joseph's job to gather up some of the food during the 7 good years so that when the 7 bad years came, Egypt had enough food to eat. So God helped Joseph to do something amazing. And do you know what? God can use you to do amazing things too. It wasn't that Joseph was extra special. It was just because God was so powerful that Joseph was able to do something amazing. It was God's power working through Joseph. You might think that you don't have anything special to offer God, but if you are a child of God, through His incredible power, He can use you to do amazing things for Him. Don't forget that God is using you each day because His powerful Spirit is living in you. Pray to God each day that He would use you to carry out His amazing plan.